Today we're going to add one more element to solving equations with variables on both sides, but first go ahead and complete your do now. So this question is asking and saying that the sum of their ages is 40. How old is Robert? Well, automatically I know the sum means to add. So this is saying that Jackie's age plus Robert's age has to equal 40. They are telling me that Jackie is 4 years older, so automatically under her I'm going to put plus 4. She's 4 years older than twice the age of Robert. Twice means to multiply by 2. I don't know how old Robert is either, so I'm going to put 2x. So twice Robert's age, which is x, 4 years older plus 4. That's just Jackie though. I need to add to that Robert's age because it's talking about the sum. We already said I don't know Robert, so he's just going to be x, and that equals 40. I see on the left side I can combine like terms. I have a 2x and a positive x, so that gives me 3x. Bring down the plus 4 equals 40. From here, two-step equation, I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. I'm left with 3x equals 36. Divide both sides by 3, and I get x equals 12. Going back to the question is asking for Robert. If I look at my first part of the equation, Robert was x, so I am done. Robert is 12 years old. All right, so now to review variables on both sides with some of our negatives. On the left-hand side, I see that I can combine and shorten this part. I have a negative 5x and a negative x. So a negative 5 and a negative 1 is going to be a negative 6x plus 8 equals 2x minus 8. Nothing more to combine, no parentheses. Let's start to move my x. I need to see and ask myself, which is the smaller value, a negative 6x or a positive 2x? And that's going to be a negative 6. So I want to move the minus 6x. So I do the opposite, so that means I'm going to add 6x to both sides. These x's cancel, and I'm just left with 8 on my left side. 2 plus 6 is 8x. Bring down my minus 8. Now, to get rid of that constant, bring this minus 8, get rid of it from this side by adding 8. So I'm left with 16 equals 8x. Now I just need to divide both sides by 8, and I'm left with 2 equals x. Be sure if you made any mistakes, you have corrected them now on your paper. So this question is asking what value of x will make this linear equation true? That is essentially just asking to find the value of x. What value of x, when we plug it back in, will make the left side the same number as the right side? So both of these are really long on the right side and left side, so I'm going to start first with my parentheses. I need to distribute to get rid of those. So I need to do 3 times 4x and 3 times 7. Right now I'm not doing anything with this 4x, so I'm just going to bring it down. 3 times 4 is 12x, and 3 times 7 is 21. On the other side, I need to do 4 times 7x, which is 28x, and 4 times 3, which is 12. Bring down my minus 3. Make sure everything that I've got on here you also have on your paper. All right, so both sides are still really long. Now I can look and I can combine like terms. On the same side, I have a positive 4 and a positive 12. Since they're on the same side of the equal sign, I'm going to combine them and get 16x. I have nothing to combine with the 21, so I'm just going to bring that down. On the right side, I only have one x. I just have this 28x. I can't combine it with anything. But I do have a positive 12 and a minus 3. So I'm going to combine by subtracting 12 minus 3 is 9, and it's going to be a positive since we have more positives. Now there's no parentheses. I can't combine on either side. Now I can go ahead and start to move. My smaller value, x, is this 16, so I'm going to subtract 16x on both sides. These cancel out, and I'm left with 21 equals 12x plus 9. Now I need to get rid of this constant, so I'm going to subtract 9 from both sides, and I'm left with 12 equals 12x. I'm going to divide both sides. I'm going to divide both sides by 12, so I get 12 divided by 12 is 1, so 1 equals x. So this is saying that if I plug 1 in for x in my original equation, my left side is going to equal my right. So this equation is said to have one solution. There is only one number that I can plug into x to make that equation true, to make the left side equal to the right. So for example, if I take my x value, which we just said was 1, and I plug that in for my x. So in every x, I'm going to plug in 1 because that is what we just said my x value was. It is not an unknown anymore. So order of operations says I'm going to do parentheses first on both sides. And I can't multiply this. So 4 times 1 All right, so the first problem on your practice, we actually already did before, so you can go ahead and cross this one off, which is number 1. Go ahead and solve number 2 to determine if there's one solution, none, or infinite, and then we'll go over it. All right, so I can't determine and compare coefficients and constants until I get rid of parentheses and combine if necessary. So 3 times 2x is 6x. And 3 times minus 6 is a minus 18. Automatically, I know this is going to be a one solution problem because my coefficients are different. My smaller value with the x, my smaller coefficient, is this 5, so I'm going to subtract it since it's positive. 5 minus 5 is 0, so there's no x's. Be careful to bring down this minus 6. 6 minus 5 is 1, so I'm just left with my 1x. Need to get rid of this minus 18. And negative 6 plus 18 is going to be a positive 12. They were different signs, so we really had to subtract. So there's one solution for this problem, and it's x equals 12. All right, so you're going to complete the problems, the practice problems on your paper. However, I want to do 2. I want you to enter your answer so we can go over for 2 problems. So you can either pause the video, work through the problems until you get to number 7. You're going to enter your answer for number 7 and watch for corrections, as well as number 9. So either skip to number 7 and 9 right now, or continue to work through, and once you get to 7 and solve, enter your answer so we can go over it. All right, so you should have solved number 7. So we're just going to quickly go over this to make sure you've got the right answer. 1/2 times 4, or 1/2 of 4, is 2x. Half of 4 is 2. 1/2 times 16 is 8, equals 2x plus 8. So this one, once I got rid of the parentheses, it's easy because I see that the left side, the coefficients are 2x, and on the right side 2x, those are the same. And then I also see that the constants are both a positive 8. So this is said to have infinite number of solutions. So if you did not get that right, or you distributed that 1/2 wrong, make sure you correct this. All right, so now solve number 9 if you haven't already. Enter your answer, and then we'll see the corrections. All right, so this one, I don't have anything to distribute or combine on my left side, so I'm just going to bring down the 5x minus 9. On the right, though, I have this minus 3x and this positive 2x. So the 11 is going to be brought down. A negative 3x and a positive 2x is going to give me a negative x, or you can also put that 1, a negative 1x. So automatically I know there's going to be one solution because my coefficients are different. The smaller value is this negative 1, so I'm going to add negative 1x to both sides. 5x plus 1x is 6x. Bring down the minus 9 equals 11. The negative 1 and the positive 1x cancel out. Here I need to add 9 to both sides, and I'm left with 6x equals 20. I'm going to divide both sides by 6, and I get x equals. So a couple of things. You can divide it out and get a whole number. However, you can also leave it as a fraction. So if you put x equals 20 over 6, that's completely correct and fine. You also could have realized that we could simplify this and divide both by 2. So we can divide the numerator by 2 and the denominator. 20 divided by 2 is 10, and 6 divided by 3, or 6 divided by 2 is 3. Totally another correct and acceptable answer. If you divided it out, 3 goes into 10 3 whole times, which is 9, so there's 1 remainder. So you could have gotten 3 1/3. Or you also could have gotten 3.1/3 as a decimal is 3.333 repeating. So it is okay to leave your answer in as a fraction, and we'll be working a little more with that next week. All right, so by now you should have completed all of your practice problems, so go ahead and solve your exit ticket. Enter the answer into Edpuzzle when you are done.